There's great power in prayer, even more in group prayer. This is the foundation of the Unity Movement and our church. Our prayer ministry has close to over 100 active participants supporting our community and the world. There's great synergy in us coming together consistently. Beyond our own personal experience with prayer, there's so much evidence to its impact on the collective consciousness. The Maharishi effect shows that if 1% of the population meditates, it produces measurable improvements in the quality of life for the whole population. The world is going through a lot of change. We must go to the unchanging realm of the divine and help co-create the best outcome for the most impactful event taking place. Let's join together to support this cause. Thank you for joining us. Your presence, your consciousness is summoned for humanity at this time. There's great power in prayer, even more in group prayer. This is the foundation of the Unity Movement and our church. Our prayer ministry has close to over 100 active participants supporting our community and the world. There's great synergy in us coming together consistently. Beyond our own personal experience with prayer, there's so much evidence to its impact on the collective consciousness. The Maharishi effect shows that if 1% of the population meditates, it produces measurable improvements in the quality of life for the whole population. The world is going through a lot of change. We must go to the unchanging realm of the divine and help co-create the best outcome for the most impactful event taking place. Let's join together to support this cause. Thank you for joining us. Your presence, your consciousness is summoned for humanity at this time.
Buenos dias a todos. Good morning, Unity. Bienvenidos, welcome. Today we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and the theme of today is We Are One, Estamos Unidad. You'll be hearing Tim sing that later on today. Whether you're joining us online or you're here in the seats, we're so glad you're part of the service today. And on a day like today, it's hard not to think of our dear departed Reverend Ana Quintana. I think she's living La Vida Loca down in Miami. And we thought we'd share a little bit of what she looks like today. So David, you can see she's still got the moves here. So yes, she's certainly gone but not forgotten, and we hope she inspires you to get up and show some moves of your own. We're going to open with Guantanamera today.
Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde
3, and we believe. Lo creer.
Cara montaña moverás y las cadenas romperás.
These chains will never break.
Su que tú nunca balarás en tu nombre poder. Aunque parezca el final y las mareas suban más, yo sé que en ti puedo confiar. En tu nombre hay poder, en tu nombre está el poder.
There is power.
Montañas moverás, arañas romperás, lo creeré, solo en ti creeré, de lo imposible tú milagros formarás, lo creeré, solo en ti creeré.
Yes, we believe.
Nuestra esperanza firme está, pues tú ya has vencido el mal. Cristo por siempre creeré, en tu nombre hay poder, en tu nombre hay poder. Montañas moverás, cadenas romperás, lo creeré, solo en ti creeré, de lo imposible tú milagros formarás, lo creeré, solo en ti creeré. En tempestad tú conmigo siempre estás, confío en Dios por tu fidelidad. En tempestad tú conmigo siempre estás, confío en ti Dios por tu fidelidad. Montañas moverás, cadenas romperás, lo creeré, solo en ti creeré, de lo imposible tú milagros formarás, lo creeré, solo en ti creeré. Thank you. Please stand now and join us as we dismiss the students to class in the welcome song and welcoming the Spirit of Dios into this place. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, and we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Now let us pray over the names that have been placed in both the adult prayer box and the children's prayer box for those people that have asked for prayer support. So let us pray. We join together in this sanctity of prayer as one heart, one mind, and one consciousness. Our interconnectedness with the divine and each other creates a powerful wellspring of infinite possibilities. No matter our cultures or traditions, as one spiritual family, we share a bond through spiritual truths. We are all God's children without judgment, for the love of God is in every one of us. Together we lift our awareness to these spiritual truths of love, peace, wisdom, and harmony. Through our discernment, we allow these truths to direct our thoughts and actions for the good of all. As we embrace our divinity, we shower the world with blessings and hope. We express our unity in every name in this prayer box through our love, compassion, and peace, holding these truths when they may not be able to hold them for themselves. With gratitude for all of this, we rest in the assurance that all is well, and so it is. Amen.
Dios y yo somos uno. Tú y yo somos uno en Dios. You and I, we are one in God. Feel your divine presence beating in your heart. That's the place where we experience oneness. Breathe with me.
The most beautiful place in your whole temple is your heart. You are one. You are the spark in your heart. The spark is on. En tu corazón la llama está encendida. El fuego vive. Tú eres uno. You are one. Breathe. And feel the essence of your heart. Love. Love is the essence of your heart. Let your heart take you. If you want to fly, fly. If you want to run, run. If you want to swim, swim. Chantaya naya nay hey hey ya hey ya oh. Yo soy uno en Dios. Tú eres uno en Dios. Tú y yo somos uno en Dios. I am one in God. You are one in God. We are together one in God. Breathe. Let the essence in your heart, that is love, flows in your temple, awakening your divine consciousness. Remember, you are the spark, as I am. Breathe. Feel your divine presence and connect with the other sparks around you. Doesn't matter where we come from, we are one. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale your fire with the presence of the other in your heart. Shamba, shamba, shamba. Allow your heart to sustain you. Bindai, bindai. Just flow. Little by little, sparks are getting together. Poquito a poquito, la chispa divina se va juntando. Cada vez somos más en unidad. Every single moment we are more in unity. Hindai, hindai. Today we are here to celebrate oneness as we are one. Breathe. Om Bai, breathe. There we are. All the sparks together. One whole planet sustained in spirit. I am as you are, one in spirit. Breathe and open your eyes. And please see the faces of the other sparks around you. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. Aho.
Give us this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all my needs according to your riches. I have but to ask, and I shall receive. To go from here and share this love you gave to me, to show someone who's lost and help them find their way, the way to truth and faith, so they can be free like me, free like me. Lord, we are your love. Lord, we are your peace. Lord, we are your joy this day. This
Talk about oneness, one being one with each other, but also one with everything. And I wanted to start off by thanking Oswaldo for that. That was quite good, wonderful. Thank you for doing that. And always the music pulls us in together, so it's one way of bringing in the sense of oneness. And I want to start with kind of like going the opposite of oneness and talk about the development of the Bible. And I'll try to make this brief, but one of the things that happened over the last 150 years has been a lot of scholastic work toward understanding the origin of the Bible, and basically I'll give you what I think is standard accepted understanding of the Bible's origin. And I'll go quickly, so it may not fit your expected pattern, but this is what the scholars think. About the year 1000 BC, King David was coming into his reign, starting off as a warlord, and then gradually combining parts of the Palestine and forming a kingdom. And in forming the kingdoms back there would have scribes write a narrative that explained why they should be king. And it would be a story that would lead up to their place in history. So they would write a prehistory of a prequel of why the king was the king. And they would set up the conditions for you to expect the king to be the rightful ruler. So you would not expect a scribe to write a story in which it would be, if you were a king, which says democracy is the greatest form of government, right? You would also not make a god democratic. You would make a god like a ruler. And so what we inherited over the next 1,000 years of writing, rewriting, and changing was each of the successive king lineages would rewrite the Bible, not taking stuff out, but just jamming stuff in the cracks and expanding why they should be it. And one famous one was Josiah. Josiah becomes the king and they find in the temple, oddly enough, 500 years after the first writing, a book that explains the rest. It says Josiah would be king at one time. How about that? So that's kind of the way it worked, which made a tribal doctrine, oddly enough, became the basis of 3 world religions. So, that's why I don't think the Bible is a great example for the type of understanding that we profess here, which is that essentially the divine is everywhere among each of us, and we are each one with the divine and one with each other, because the origins of that text really set out to say quite the opposite. And we have added to it, like they have, jamming it in sometimes, certainly interpreting it in our own way, but really, in essence, we're changing the original meaning. Now, being willing, you can change the original meaning, which is what Charles Fillmore did. He said, oh, well, this really means this over here. And he did a wonderful job of it, but I've never bought into it completely because I was first taught by the scholastic way. And so this reinterpretation way seems to me like cheating. So this is why you don't hear me read the Bible much. I just jump straight to the text or writings that say exactly what we think right now, not what was thought 3,000 years ago, reinterpreted right now. Does that make sense? So if you want to be inclusive in the idea that God is everywhere and in everyone, you probably don't turn to the Bible as your easiest text to find that. So you can be forgiven if you don't know a lot of the Bible stories. Or I think one can be. Because they were intending to support a monarchy, not enlightenment. There was, in another part of the world, a group that not altogether were indifferent, but they came with a different perspective, and they have allowed us to see a gradual unfolding by contrast of another way of doing it. And that's largely the things that we call Eastern religions. And in Eastern religions, essentially, they expressly say, directly say, that there is an ineffable something. And they may not use the word God, because God kind of goes with a monarchical way of talking. There is a presence that is everywhere here, that is the source of life, but you cannot see it exactly. It is the source of you and all your thoughts, but you can't find it by thought. There is a presence here that animates all beings, the whole of existence, that underlies everything, yet you can't know it by touching any one piece of it. And it makes the idea of an idol seem foolish. It makes the idea that God would be sitting in the heavens and you pray to God and you command God be doing things for you, and this happy or unhappy being would either do or not do according to your wishes. Instead, it invites us to transcend our sense of separateness and to move toward this experience of oneness, and in so doing, find the true nature of our being and the true nature of the universe. And the interesting thing about that experience of waking up to your true nature, your divine nature as we call it here, this underlying presence which is in everyone, by waking up to that, you see everyone else typically with a sense of love and compassion. And all the rights and wrongs and rules and all that stuff don't need to be spelled out, because you do your best to be compassionate, fair, loving, kind. This, I think, is essentially what happened to Jesus, who grew up in Palestine. Granted, he may have heard something of Eastern religions, but this awakening can happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody. I think it's induced more likely if you have spiritual practice, that you practice, like the Buddha said, compassion for others, not dulling your senses, etc. There are ways to put yourself closer to that experience, but that awakening is the grace of God. And when it happens, it could happen in the Middle East, it could happen in America, it could happen in South America, it could happen to your neighbor, it could happen to you. And when it happens, you realize that you are not this tight little package that you have been told you were your whole life. You're not this personality that you have tried to develop and to maintain in the face of the onslaught of the rest of society. You are not that. You are really at depth all of this. And while you have a personality, it is like you have a toy. You are not that. It is something you own. This oneness then begins to percolate out, and you see that everyone you're talking to has that same interior and is of the same ilk as you. And so why would you hurt your brother or sister? Why would you be condemning of others? Why would you say, my tribe is the tribe and all other tribes are godless? Why would you do that? It takes the meaning of being a human being and flips it on its head. It's not about how much I can get against you, but how we can prosper, and how the democratic ideal of everyone has value, and no one is better than any other, and every language, religion, thought process can fall within this grand umbrella of being a human being. But the truth is those peculiarities don't need to separate us, because we are still at their base one and the same. Now, one of the peculiar things that happens about that is that if the language you grew up in makes room for that, you have a way of saying it so that you don't get crucified. And your people will understand when you say, I'm the Son of God, or whatever form of word that would be in your language, they can go, yeah, we know. Oh, there have been other guys like you. I know this woman down the street. I know this person over here. I've heard of someone in the ancient times. Yes, and it goes well. But you take that experience and you pick it up and you put it inside a monarchical religious base, in which the only words you know how to say are, I am the Son of God, not the Son of all the presence that's everywhere, etc. You get into a little technical difficulty with the priest, right? They don't buy that. You're a human being, how can you be God? It's not our experience, it's not our understanding, it's not the way our scriptures are written. Now, of course, they're little, in every system, there's a counterforce inside there. And so Jesus can say, oh no, really, it says, ye are gods. But they didn't buy it. And they shouldn't, given the mindset they lived in. Given the world they lived in which there was a hierarchy from the top of the government to the bottom person in the family. There were hierarchies and there were stratifications, and the sense of authority came from above, not from within. It would make sense that they would find this type of statement blasphemy. Whereas in another world, another way of knowing the divine, they would find this glorious, wonderful. Another one of us crossed the threshold into deep understanding. How blissful. Let's go where you go, do what you do, because we want to have that same experience. And so out of this Middle Eastern way of understanding comes Christianity. And Christianity says that this is too hard a teaching for the world. There was a guy who was the Son of God, but there can't be many others or no others. Let's make him special. Let's make him separate. Make his life the life of the way it should be, but not say it's available to everyone, but say we should be like him. Now, it's caused a lot of consternation in the world because we don't happen to know that we are one with the divine. And we also don't know that we will rise from the dead. And we also don't know that we can pray and anything we say will happen because we're Daddy's son of the one. We don't have that. So we live our lives like human beings, and we know that we fall short. And we always fall short, and we always fall short. And when you fall short, then you need someone to save you. And that cycle begins to separate us from our deepest sense of self. Again, it causes us to feel as though we're inadequate, even as a human being. So you come along now, and I may be preaching to the choir, but should any of you want to kill me about now, I would understand if this is the world view that you have adopted. That there can only be one. Because Jesus was the only Son. There were no more. There had never been one before. There was never a Buddha or a Krishna or any of that. This is the one. And if that is the one, it comes with a whole table of contents of how you should be in relation to that. But should you live on the other side of the world, they would go, oh yeah, we like Buddha and Jesus and Krishna and the others. We think it says if one of us can make it, the rest of us can make it. This happens to be my personal philosophy, that if anybody could do it, you can do it. Which also is a bit of a burden. Talk about not living up to your potential. When was the last time I had that experience where everything was... But we work toward it. And we set ourselves up into the conditions in which grace of that which is not a king the grace of existence can pop us out and into that. Now, one way I've tried to justify this experience is the whole idea of the bell curve. Many of you remember the bell curve. It's very skinny amount of people on this side, a grand amount of people in the middle, and then a very skinny amount on the other. So you have the really hateful ones over here who are just so bad, and they get better and better, and then they're the ones who begin to have a good heart, and then it comes down and you get more saintly, and then you have an avatar that is way out there on the edge of the bell curve. And if you take the bell curve as a natural description of the way nature and the world is put together, then you would see that it would be inevitable. You would have some really bad ones on this side and some transcendent ones on the other side of the bulk of us. And that if you are in the middle, there's really no shame in being here, because that's where most of us will inevitably be, right? And you can do this with wealth, intelligence, as well as your spiritual life. But if your spiritual life, you find that you're relatively mundane, join the crowd. We attempt to go higher, but let us find this assurance, this blessing that someone who went before us knows the path, knows what it's really like. Someone on the far end of intelligence in a spiritual way knows the truth. And that person can say, essentially, I and the Father are one, and you and I are one, so you and the Father are one. And we take it upon faith until we have the experience that that is the truth. And we organize our mental way of perceiving the world. We organize it according to that thought, not the thought that there's something inherently wrong with you. It's just you haven't gotten there yet. But you were born with it. You haven't gotten to there yet was the realization of it. You have always been that. You just don't know it. And like a lot of things, if you fake it long enough, you may make it. So you act with compassion naturally, out of your own being. You see in the eyes of other the reflection of the divine coming out at you. Instead of feeling like you're the only one in the world like you practice feeling that this world and you are really one thing. And all of it is working in your favor. And this becomes your daily practice. So that you begin to move closer to that leading edge of experience. And if you're not wildly successful, there's room for us too. The big part of humanity will always be in the process of becoming. This is okay. This is the way it is. And accepting the way it is the beginning of awakening. It's good you accept the truth. That you are the same as Jesus, only waiting to find it out in person. This is the real good news of the gospel, not that other story. Let us pray. experience and our understanding. Fill in all that we need to know that we might awaken. And may our experience and grace pull us along the path reform our thoughts, lift our expectations. May we learn to surrender and to be at peace, knowing that we are part of this universe, at one with everyone else, born of the same substance that Jesus was, moving toward our awakening. Because we are one with the one day we will know it. And on that day we will be changed from recognizing ourselves as a personality to recognizing ourselves as a spirit or a presence or the Brahman or the Buddha or the Christ. And so will be our truth from then on. And so it is. Amen.
En la oscuridad las estrellas brillan, las vemos volando, son como tú y yo. Todo el mundo no está solo, miles entre nosotros. No estás solo, somos familia. Escapemos de toda esta realidad. Tú eres mi sinfonía, a tu lado somos unidas. Tú eres mi energía, mi luz guía, somos unidas. Somos unidad, somos unidad, somos unidad. Aunque no hubiera un trueno rigirá, un rayo caerá, lo podremos parar. Solo, miles entre nosotros, no estás solo, somos familia, escapamos de toda esta realidad. Tú eres mi sinfonía, tu lado somos unidad. Tú eres mi energía, somos unidad. Tú eres mi energía, la luz que me guía. Somos unidad. Tú eres mi sinfonía, a tu lado. Somos unidad. Tú eres mi energía, mi luz guía. Somos unidad. Somos unidad. Estamos unidad. Somos unidad. Somos unidad. Estamos unidad. Estamos unidad. Estamos, somos unidad. Estamos unidad.
Thank you. I have enough trouble with English, let alone trying to do another language, so thanks, Tim. Over the past 3 months, we have been highlighting all of the different volunteer teams that we offer here today in this spiritual community. And we know that when you are involved and you are volunteering and participating, you feel connected to the community. So the last team that we are featuring today is Unity and Community. And this team reaches out into the community in several different ways. The blood drive, Habitat for Humanity, the blessing bags, the Christmas tree, angel tree, and on and on and on. So if there's any of you that have participated in these events, please stand so we can say thank you. Now, if you'd like to join any of the teams that we have talked about over the last 12 weeks, you can go to our website, unitytriangle.org, and look for the particular team, and you'll see how to sign up. We also have flyers in the lobby that will tell you some additional information. Norma Marty is the team leader. She took over for Karen Thorson for Unity and Community. She's not here today, but she's also available to help. So thank you to each and every one of you for your volunteer efforts and for what you're going to even be doing in the future. Today we have the solar chargers in the lobby that we'll be handing out for any of those of you who have donated for the solar panels, which, as we know, are now live. So we're really thankful for that. Yes. The fellowship hall. Okay, not the lobby. And so next week we are starting our book study. We're going to be studying the book Living Untethered by Michael Singer. It's his newest book. And this will be a 6-week book study. Newsom will start talking about that next week. If you are not already in a book study or would like to join one, again, you can go to unitytriangle.org and sign up, or you can sign up today in the lobby. And in the Friday feature, the email that you receive every Friday, there's a little tutorial of how to sign up on the website. So there are also books available in the bookstore for Living Untethered. Then this coming Saturday, we will be holding a pet blessing for all of our little furry friends, great and small. Will be held out in the parking lot from 10 to 12. Newsom and I will be giving blessings, and you'll even get a picture with your little furry friend. And the greeters have handed out little flyers, and we are asking that you take those to your vet or to your groomer and post them so that we can reach out into the community and hopefully have some additional people come to our pet blessing. And then last but not least, for all of those people that pray over the prayer box in their daily prayer practice, that's the Sacred Prayer Circle. If you would like to join this team, we are offering a training on Saturday, October 1st from 9:30 to 12:30. And we hold that twice a year. And this is an easy way for you to join the prayer ministry without actually praying one-on-one with individuals, but it's also a way for you to develop your prayer practice, because we ask that you hold these names in your daily prayer practice every day. All right, and now Newsom is going to ask the greeters to come forward.
What I'd like to say is thank you to y'all, to everybody. I think this community, which involves everybody here and many who are not here, those who are online, but also those who have gone before us and those who will come after us. This community has a very special place in this world, in my opinion, certainly allowing us, the few that are here, a place to be in community with like-minded people, and to contribute our time, our talent, and our treasure, which binds us into this deeper understanding that we are not separate, that we're not just ourselves taking care of only us, etc. It binds us into the world in a place of love and service. And I really want to thank all those who came before us for the 33 years that we were in existence, and all those who will be in here afterwards, that this is a special place. And if it isn't known yet by millions of other people in this area, well, we must be on the beginning of the bell curve here. But I just really believe that having this alternative is part of sanity for many people, even if they don't know it's here. It's just knowing somewhere in the spectrum of existence there is a place where they belong. Because once you pop out of that old way of thinking, it's a lonely place. I can speak for myself. So thank you for supporting this. Thank you for supporting it while I was gone. I'm sure you didn't do it just for me, but I take it personally. So thank you for doing that. And I just wanted you to encourage you to continue to do this and to continue to make it your home by giving into it so that it becomes stronger and healthier. Well, let's do our blessing. Together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
We let the love wash over us. We let it The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.